four friends find an interesting house to stay at. In there, some of them engage in wrong behavior, but that behavior is not as wrong as something that lurks there waiting for them. We see a man and a lady looking at a house for rent by the coastline. They are slightly taken aback by the price of it, but since they love it, they decide to book it. A man then comes in and interrupts them. He is Josh, and we see that the lady and he are together. She is Mina and the other man is Charlie, Josh's brother. They tell Josh that they want to rent a house for a little vacation before they engage in a lot of work. Then we see Charlie at his house with his girlfriend, Michelle. He talks to her about his brother. And then we see Josh and Mina at their place. In the morning, Charlie arrives with Michelle to pick them up. They bring their dog with them and then start riding away. They converse about rentals as they ride. When they arrive, Charlie tells Josh to hide the dog. Then they get out and enter the outer area of the house. They knock on the door and Charlie starts calling the owner, Taylor. As soon as he does, though, he appears behind them and remarks on how they let themselves in. He then tells the group he was expecting them 1 hour ago. After Mina questions if the house is really his, Taylor gets slightly offended by it and makes a statement about how she got mixed with this group. He follows that by saying he didn't mean anything by it. When Mina gets left alone with Josh, she insults the man for what he said. After that, Taylor shows them the interior of the house. Then he brings them to the hot tub. After Michelle mentions her telescope, he decides to bring them his. As Taylor is about to leave, he gives them the keys. Then Mina tells him she tried to rent this house before, but her request was denied. But Taylor tells her that many people try to rent this place, and does not address the racial implication she put in her question. He then mentions the leaving policy before he leaves. When he does, Mina badmouths him again. When Charlie and Michelle are getting situated in the kitchen, we see Taylor looking at them for some seconds in his truck before driving away quickly. Afterward, the group starts getting comfortable in the house. Josh plays with his dog outside and finds a door with a keypad. As he tries to open it, Mina comes from behind to surprise him. He attempts to open the door then by punching in the code 666, but it doesn't work. In the next scene, Josh walks with Michelle on the beach. They watch Charlie and Mina walking and talking ahead of them. Michelle then tells Josh that it gets less weird, and Josh says that he's always worried that Mina will leave him because she is so smart and talented. After that, they all return home and find a telescope standing there ready for them. Mina states it's creepy that Taylor just entered and placed it there. Then they all sit at a table and talk about going to the waterfall. Shortly after, Michelle brings a drug for them to use and they unwind and dance in the living room while she sleeps. Then the three of them sit outside and look through the telescope. Josh and Charlie talk about dinosaurs for some time before Josh leaves. Then Mina looks through the telescope. She quickly crouches and says that someone saw her looking at them. Charlie then looks and says that Taylor is looking their way. They both laugh at their constructed joke. After that, Mina leaves to check on Josh and finds him sleeping on the couch. She returns to Charlie, who uncovers the hot tub. Soon enough, they are both in the tub. Mina brought both of them drinks before she got in. Charlie tells her she's brilliant and gives her more compliments. Mina then compliments him as well and they drink to it. What happens after is them engaging in romance. Then they hear the dog bark, which interrupts their cheating. It runs from outside and into the house. That causes Mina to leave and enter the shower. As she showers, she moves the curtain to the side and sees Charlie standing there. He enters the shower with her and they continue to cheat. In the morning, Charlie and Mina are exhausted. Josh and Michelle tell them to hurry so they can all go on their hike. Then Josh comes to Mina and tells her he can stay there with her if she wants it. But Mina states that they can't ditch Michelle. So Charlie and Mina end up staying home while the other two leave. When they do, Charlie asks Mina if she is okay, and she says that they are smarter than this. She adds that she really does love Josh. We then see Josh and Michelle on their hike. Josh talks about how he met Mina, and Michelle tells him she met Charlie when he was still with another girl. They keep talking about that until Michelle tires of it. Then Mina does some work around the house while Charlie sleeps. When she showers, she notices something odd in the shower head. She calls Charlie to look at it and she tells him it's a camera. Mina wants to call the cops on Taylor and Charlie rushes to the other shower room. He finds a similar camera there too and tells her they cannot call the police. He says that if they do, then Josh and Michelle will discover what they did there. Mina becomes angry and badmouths Taylor severely. She wants to threaten him so that he gives them the footage. But Charlie rejects that idea. She then gives him another one, but he rejects that too. He doesn't want them to construct a lot of lies. In a short while, Michelle and Josh return from their hike. Mina and Josh get back together comfortably. But we see that Michelle is upset with Charlie. He comes to her and asks about her mood. And she asks him if he was broken up with a girl named Zoe when he started seeing the girl that came before Michelle. But all Charlie does is act surprised as to where that question came from. He then says he was breaking up with Zoe while being with a girl named Jen as a friend. Yet he still behaves confused why this was brought up. Then Michelle tells him he has a pattern of doing this. And Charlie realizes that Josh said this to her. After that, they join the other two in the living room. Michelle tells them they're going to do some substance now. Unfortunately for her, all three of them turn her down. But Michelle wants to do it anyway and so she does. Afterward, Josh makes some food. He calls for his dog, but it doesn't come. This prompts him to look for it and then they look outside when they can't find him. Michelle is the only one not searching. Instead, she is dancing inside and having fun. Then Charlie comes in and Michelle tells him the hot tub is not working. She adds that she called Taylor to come to look at it. Charlie seems uneasy about this and Michelle asks him what's the problem. But he fabricates a lie and says that Mina doesn't like him. Then Josh questions whether Taylor took his dog. He and Charlie argue about Josh bringing this suspicion up with Taylor when he arrived. Then Taylor comes to the door and Josh asks him if he was at the house today. Taylor tells him he was home all day. When he walks into the house, Josh asks him if he took his dog. This causes the man to turn around and question what the dog was doing being there. And then he says he did not take it before going to fix the hot tub. After that, Josh tells Mina that he wants to find his dog and get out of there. At the hot tub, Taylor tells them the program was stuck in cleaning mode, but it's now good to go. We then see Mina searching for the dog. Taylor comes behind her and says he hopes they find it. As he gets ready to go, Mina wants to show him something. She brings him to the restroom and tells him if he does anything with the footage from the camera, they will go straight to the police. But Taylor is confused about what she is telling him. When she shows him, he still tells her he doesn't know anything about it. Mina mentions the police again and he starts calling them for her. This prompts her to get scared and she starts taking the phone away from him. As they struggle in there, Josh sees them from outside and rushes in to bring Taylor to the bathtub. He unleashes his fury on the man until Charlie enters and takes him off. After that incident, Michelle comes to them and asks what happened. Mina explains that Taylor was filming them. We then see someone watching them on a phone camera as they stand there and talk. That man then comes to Taylor and suffocates him. Meanwhile, Michelle says they should call an ambulance. Then Charlie goes to check on Taylor. When Michelle is about to call, Charlie comes to her and says Taylor is not breathing. They all then check on him and Josh gets scared. He questions with furious confusion how Taylor even died from that. Michelle states they have to call the police, but Charlie says they can't do that because the police will put Josh in jail for life. He then starts fabricating a scenario about how Taylor could have lost his life in a way that doesn't point to them. But Michelle does not want to engage in such a lie. She then blows up about it and storms out of the room. Later, we see Josh and Charlie lift Taylor from the bathtub. Charlie then comes to his wife and she says she already feels guilty. But he tries to reassure her by saying she had nothing to do with that act. He adds that it will be over soon, but Michelle responds that it will never be over. Afterward, Taylor gets carried outside. The three of them try to throw him in the water, but he gets stuck on the rocks. This puts anger into Charlie. He tries to fix the problem by throwing a rock down there, but he misses. He then attempts it with Josh, but it does not work again. This causes Josh to start climbing down. Then they see him and try to stop him, but he tells them that he took Taylor's life, so he has to clean the mess. He soon falls on him. Meanwhile, Michelle hears the sound of a working shower coming from somewhere and searches for it. Then Josh pushes the man off into the water. After that, Michelle climbs up into a room and notices a TV playing there. It shows her the footage of Mina showering and then how Charlie joins her and cheats on his wife. Then Mina and Charlie help Josh get up. As they walk to the house, we see a man walking behind them. When they come there, Charlie sees Michelle driving away. He yells for her to stop and she does. He comes to her and tells her that they're almost done with everything. But she tells him that she saw him with Mina. He gets taken aback by this information and then starts apologizing to her. He then asks her where she found that footage and she just questions who he is and drives off. When he returns to the others, he gets asked what happened. Charlie tells them that Michelle hit her limit and could not take any more. He adds that they should find the footage so they could then leave. Following that, Michelle rides and crashes into a tree. This causes her to lose any calm she had left. When she gets out of the car to inspect what happened, she finds a spike strip on the road. She gets back in the car and starts texting Charlie. And then we observe how someone runs at her. In the next scene, Charlie checks his phone and sees messages from his wife. He tells the other two that he's going to help Michelle. While he runs there, Josh tries to open the door with the keypad but fails again. Charlie then comes to the car and discovers that his wife is not there. He calls her phone and sees it light up in the distance. When he walks in its direction, he finds Michelle lying there injured. Then a man instantly attacks him to the ground. After that, Josh kicks the keypad off the door and it opens. The room is full of boxes of random things. They search the room and then Josh loses it and insults himself for what he did. Mina then hugs him and says they will get through this problem. When she leaves, a small door opens in the wall where a window should be. Josh comes to check on it and then gets a message on his phone. Later, he comes to Mina with that message that he said he received from Charlie. It is a voice message of Mina talking with Charlie about how it can never happen again. Josh then asks her what it means. What can never happen again? Mina stumbles with her words and then Josh receives a naked photo of Mina. He angrily asks why Charlie has this photo and why he's sending it to him. Then he receives the shower video and hears something downstairs. Believing it to be his brother, Josh goes to look. He screams that he will end Charlie's life. As he walks the house, we observe from a camera view in every room. Eventually, he opens a door where a masked man stands. That man quickly strikes Josh down. Then Mina comes down and sees Josh on the floor and then the man that put him there. That prompts her to run back upstairs. Before coming after her, the man brings Josh to his demise. Then he climbs up and looks down from the balcony. He sees a shoe on the ground and heads out of the house. Mina then comes out in that room and comes down. She runs out of the house crying and the man comes after her there. He grabs her and she sticks something in his head. Afterward, Mina rolls downstairs and the masked mystery man takes the object out of himself. She then runs in the dark and he chases her. Then she falls and hides behind a tree. Shortly after, she stands and runs again. Mina keeps running in the fog, not seeing much ahead of her, and due to that, she suddenly falls off a cliff. We see the man come to stand there and look down at the water. After a short time, he walks away. Later, we see the man as he drags the spike strip and places it in his truck. Then he unscrews the shower head and puts in another one. He does some more adjustments and then looks at himself in the mirror. We see him taking off his mask, but his face doesn't get revealed. After that, the mystery man stands in the house and the dog comes to him. After a decent amount of time, the man appears in another place where a lady gives him a tour. He creates a duplicate key there when he's by himself, and he follows that with other adjustments. Considerably later, we see other people occupy that living place as they get observed from a camera view. The man then emerges in one of them.